right, which doesn't belong and why? Let's begin with Refrigerator Perry from WrestleMania 2, Lawrence Taylor from WrestleMania 11, Rob Gronkowski, 33 and 36. Which doesn't belong and why?
I mean, I would have to say the fridge, because to me, if I want guys who are really going to be dangerous in the ring, for some reason, I don't view the fridge as being particularly dangerous in the ring. However, I would fear Rob Gronkowski.
I say the fridge doesn't belong because, for me, no one ever burned as bright beyond the sports world than William the Refrigerator Perry, the phenomenon that he was in 1985. I remember it vividly,
Right.
and it's never been matched by anyone else. And one of the most unlikely of guys that would have become that flashpoint for so much notoriety as part of the 1985 Bears. So the Refrigerator, getting it done.
Now, Mike, can I tell you a very quick story? Can I tell you a quick story about that? The day after the Super Bowl that the fridge scored the touchdown and Walter Payton didn't, that's when I knew that there was something strange inside the Chicago Bears, because that was not a happy team. You know, they killed the Patriots in the Super Bowl, but it wasn't a happy team. And everybody's always said it's so amazing that they only won one Super Bowl. And yeah, it probably is. They're very talented. But I just think there was just too much internal crap on that Bears team and in that franchise. The defensive coordinator versus the head coach, Fridge getting to score, one of the greatest players of all time, not. It felt really weird the day after that game.
I love the Richard Dent line. We won a Super Bowl because of Mike Ditka, and we won a Super Bowl because of Mike Ditka, because, yeah, that's a team that they expected to win multiple championships. Yeah. All right, which doesn't belong and why? Tom Brady, quarterback whisperers, Charlie Weiss, Josh McDaniels, Bruce Arians. Which doesn't belong and why?
Wow, that's a really good question. I would say I think they all belong, but if anybody doesn't belong, I would say it's Bruce Arians, because Tom Brady was who he was when he got to Tampa. And part of who he was birthed by Charlie Weiss and Josh McDaniels.
I'll say Weiss doesn't belong because, I mean, look, he never was an NFL head coach. Sometimes these are extremely superficial and simple, and I don't have any other ideas, so I'll just say Weiss because he wasn't an NFL head coach. The other two became NFL head coaches, and Arians, obviously, a Super Bowl winner. Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, which doesn't belong and why? All three quarterbacks on one-year prove-it deals.
I would say Cam Newton doesn't belong because while the other two, I could see the other two making a second year in each of their places, I can't see Cam Newton being the quarterback of the Patriots in 2022.
Yeah, I say Winston doesn't belong because he's the only one that I really don't know whether or not he's going to be the week one starter at this point. There's going to be a competition. He's going to have to earn it. I think Taysom Hill has the upper hand. Dalton, we can call the starter, barring something unforeseen in Chicago. Newton, the starter, barring something unforeseen in New England. All right, new general managers drafting in the top 10 3 weeks from yesterday. Brad Holmes of the Lions, Scott Fitterer of the Panthers, George Paton of the Broncos. Which doesn't belong and why?
Well, I'd say right now that George Paton doesn't belong because I think that George Paton is in the worst position of the three general managers, in that the other two, I think, still could have the power to move around either up or down. Not that George Paton doesn't have that power, but the two guys ahead of him at 4 and 8 are going to have more influence at the top of the draft than George Paton picking 9th.
And Peyton is the guy among the three who really doesn't have a quarterback solution. Even though the Lions could take one at 7, they've got Jared Goff. The Panthers now have Sam Darnold, although they can, in theory, could take one at 8, and Fitterer hasn't ruled that out. Peyton, it just feels like it's an open slate still for the Broncos, and it feels like there isn't satisfaction with Drew Lock, a second-rounder from a couple of years ago.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.